Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I decided that we're just going to look at the NHL standings because the NHL season has been wild. So Tampa has officially reclaimed their throne as first in the Atlantic. I predicted them second behind Toronto, which is aging bad. And they're actually going to finish around where I had them. I think I had them at like 106 to 108 points, somewhere around there. Buffalo I've had in the playoffs like 5 years in a row. This year I finally gave up. They always prove me wrong in a bad way. This year they proved me wrong in a good way. They're a great story, but they might have to play Montreal in the first round. Montreal, speaking of them, they're now tied with Buffalo. I see, and you can see that Buffalo's on a bit of a losing streak. So yeah, they're hot lately. As a Leafs fan, I should hate them, but Caulfield's a good player. Hudson's a good player. I think they're a fun team. And I like their players. If they were any other team from Montreal, I'd take them over. Boston is in the playoffs. I don't think many of us saw that coming. I had Montreal in the playoffs, not 100 points though. Yeah, Boston, I think we all had as a lottery team. So they look like they'll make the playoffs. If they were in the Pacific, they'd be first right now. Ottawa is in a tight race. They're fifth, or they're ahead of the fourth place Islanders. They're ahead of them. So maybe that's why they fired Pete DeBoer. So they got to get back into the playoffs. I made a separate video if you want to go check that out. Detroit, I thought they were going to... I never predict for them to. Always predict for them to miss by a couple points because when I do, they prove me wrong. Toronto and Florida have had pretty stinky years. Carolina's just met expectations, been a good team. I think I had them winning the President's Trophy. Pittsburgh, I was one of the lower people on them. I had them last in their division, and I think... Yeah, so that's not aging that well. Philadelphia is now making their crazy playoff push. I think I actually had them hovering around 500, but I think they'll be a fun team. Martone could be fun in the playoffs. Then there's New York. They're on a losing streak. Without Schaefer, they wouldn't be their new coach. Go watch that video. Then there's Columbus, who's... just always hangs around the playoffs for the past couple of years. Getting better as a young team. Washington's kind of had a down year yet. Again, if they were in the West, they'd be in the playoffs. New Jersey's not really been what people expected. I didn't have high expectations for New York, but I didn't think they'd be last in the East. Now let's go look at the West. Right away you can tell New Jersey with 83 points right now would be in the playoffs, which is crazy because they're like fourth last in the East or something crazy. Colorado's still holding on to the President's Trophy, but then you got Dallas, who's good. Minnesota's good. Utah is doing good. Again, still wouldn't be in the playoffs in the East. Nashville's kind of slowed down, although they had that big heater. St. Louis is working their way out of a top pick. Thank gosh, because I need Toronto to get that. Same with Winnipeg. Chicago's not done good as expected, but they're still not horrible. No one's that horrible this year, really, except for Vancouver. Edmonton's now leading their division, and they're tied with Washington, who's not even in the playoffs. They're tied with Anaheim, though. Vegas is right there, too. And then, looks like, as of now, LA and Nashville are tied for that last playoff spot. San Jose's right there. They have a game on hand too. Seattle's probably out of it now. Vancouver isn't good, Calgary isn't good, and Vancouver's been the only team that's really been downright horrible. So yeah, definitely I'm going to pull up my preseason predictions, and we could see how bad they aged. Okay, so now I'm in here, and we're going to be able to look at what I thought. At the start of the season, I had Vegas winning their division, 109 points. They might get 90-something. They might still win their division, but 109 is a stretch. Same with Edmonton. They might win their division. 105 is a stretch. Vancouver third is aging quite poorly since they're horrible. Seattle fourth, they're like sixth in their division, but they're hanging around 500. So I guess they did a little worse than I thought. LA, I just thought the offseason was so bad and that there was only a few playoff spots. They might get one, but again, they're in an intense race. Anaheim might win their division. They've already exceeded 85. Yeah, so not great there, but at least add them above 500. Calgary actually had above 500. That's not good. And San Jose add last, and they might make the playoffs. I think they're just barely out of it, but they do have a game on hand. They've already exceeded 68 points, long gone. Next, I'll do the Central so we can get the full West. Dallas could actually get a 106 points, although they probably won't win their division because they have like 4 more games, and that'd be 4 points. So they should do better, but there's actually a good possibility they get 106. If Dallas does get 106, I'll make a time-lapse video doing like 50 push-ups. Yeah. Colorado, they're already at 110. Looks like they're going to win the President's Trophy. Had them second. Winnipeg's not doing good, but started winning a little lately, and all of a sudden they're 2 points above 500, and they're in the playoff race. Couldn't be the East. The East is so much harder. The East and the West are the same, where there's a bunch of teams fighting, except the thing is the teams in the West are basically that are fighting are like 10 points below. But the top teams are actually better in the West. Minnesota, I was actually low, and I thought they were going to miss the playoffs by barely. I don't know why. I just thought that there were better teams, but yeah, they've exceeded that. St. Louis, I was always high on with Binnington. I just kind of seem to like St. Louis's team. They're winning lately, but yeah, not much. Utah, I thought would make the final wild card. Looks like they'll be in the first, but 95 points they probably won't even achieve, but they're around that point range. Chicago's been bad. They've already exceeded 66, and Nashville could make the playoffs, which is going to hurt their future. Now we'll look at the Atlantic. This is brutal having Toronto at 108. Maybe we can get into the bottom 5. Tampa 107. They're probably going to win the division and be around 107. Buffalo's right there in the division too, though. And even Montreal. So it's kind of up for grabs. Ottawa 99. They could get like around that. Probably not that many, but they could make the playoffs. They're in an intense race. Florida, I still had making it. I did actually have below some teams, which was good on me, I guess, because of the injuries. Montreal, I had making the playoffs, I think. Yeah, because the 4th team in the Metro wasn't as good. Detroit, they just always disappoint, so I couldn't put them in the playoffs. Same with Buffalo and Boston. I thought they were going to tear it down, but really, except Toronto and Florida, all of these teams are competing for a playoff spot. Now the Metro. Carolina's going to win. Actually could get 111. They might get more, but they're not going to win the Presidents like I thought. Probably. Washington, I was actually been low on the year before in the playoffs. Not much I'll beat them, but I was actually high on them in the season. I don't know. They haven't been bad, like everyone says, but they're not going to make the playoffs. They're just stuck in the East. Same. New Jersey kind of would be in the playoffs in the West, but they haven't been that good. New York has been pretty bad. I didn't have them in the playoffs. Columbus is going to get a little more than 90 unless they lose out. But yeah, I had them missing the playoffs by a bit. Philly is right now in a playoff spot. New York Islanders are just out of it, but I got another video about Pete DeBoer. I thought I've mentioned that 3 times in this video. And then, yeah, I had Pittsburgh, I think, is that last or second last in the East? I had Pittsburgh last in the East. And peace out.